Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here, and I'm reading from Genesis chapter 12, verse 2. Now the Lord said to Abram, I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. We are beginning a new worship series called Blessed to be a Blessing. And over this next month, we get to do a lot of wonderful, beautiful things in worship. Namely, we get to celebrate All Saints Sunday and Pledge Sunday and celebrate communion together. We will be bringing new members into the church, confirming one of our confirmands, giving out third grade Bibles. We celebrate Laity Sunday and bring our goods, our canned goods, our non-perishables back through our bags of blessings that we will share with Arm in Arm. We celebrate Thanksgiving. We have the Reign of Christ or Christ the King Sunday, all of these things leading up to Advent. But one of the things we'll also be doing during this next month is talking about blessing, the practice of blessing. The practice of noticing our blessings, the practice of receiving blessing, the practice of blessing others, blessing God, being a blessing to others. Now, this is one of those words, like we talk about blessings a lot. There are lots of ways that we are encouraged to count our blessings. We say bless you with sneezes. The word blessing comes into our just everyday world a lot. Unlike a lot of church words, right? We use this word so much, and we do things in the act of blessing or receiving blessings so often that it can also sometimes be taken for granted, kind of overlooked in our day-to-day lives. So we're going to be spending this next month particularly looking at this, but I really invite us into a year-long practice of blessing, of noticing, receiving, and offering blessing. I invite you over these next weeks to pay attention to how much we do talk about blessing or say blessings or participate in them in ways that, again, just sort of kind of stay in the background. They don't even come into the full consciousness of what we're doing, including in worship. Our blessing is very much a part of our worship service every single week. And on communion Sundays or baptism Sundays or newcomer joining Sundays, it's even more present. So I invite you into this. I also invite you, beyond just paying attention to how we use blessings and how they are part of our lives, to dig a little bit deeper. Yes, there are ways that, again, through this Thanksgiving month, we're going to be noticing our blessings even more. But Jesus invites us, as always Jesus does, into something a little more challenging in the midst of these practices that Jesus invites us into. Like, Jesus invites us to bless our enemies. Jesus invites us to pay attention through the Beatitudes and many other ways that Jesus teaches and lives, to pay attention to what God blesses, which is not always the same as what we or the world tend to bless or think of as blessed. Jesus invites us to look for and live into blessing when it's hard, when the things are hard in the world, when things are hard in our lives, when it doesn't seem as obvious that blessings are available or something that can be had, or even something that we can summon up within ourselves. So I invite us to look at the practice of blessing. We'll be also looking at how the practice of blessing bonds us to one another and invites us into deeper relationship with God, and how important and vulnerable it is to do these kinds of things. So, where is blessing already in your world? Where is it there, kind of in the background? And how might we bring that more consciously to the forefront? Where can we notice these things a little bit more over these next weeks and months together? how is Jesus inviting us a little bit deeper into, or maybe a lot deeper, into the practice of blessing? And with Abram, on Sunday, as we celebrate All Saints Sunday, we'll be particularly aware of some of the ways that our ancestors in the faith, our blood ancestors, our ancestors, known and unknown, continue to bless us on this journey. And again, blessing is never, receiving a blessing, while sometimes wonderfully easy, is also sometimes really hard. It's also not an end unto itself. Any blessing we get, any blessing we are aware of or we experience is, we are blessed to be a blessing for others. Very much like we've been talking about over the last few weeks about joyfully responding to God's love. There is never just an end to this. There's always a reciprocity, a mutuality, a flow that is at work and at play when it comes to God's love, God's gifts, God's abundance, God's blessing. So I invite us to pay attention to these things too. Again, this coming Sunday is indeed All Saints Sunday, and it's very late by the time you get this message, but if you do have someone that you would like to include in the naming of the saints on Sunday, I encourage you to actually email me directly, or Pastor Taylor. One of us can get the word to the right person on Sunday morning to be included in that. We also this is Pledge Sunday, and you have received your pledge packet in the mail. There's a pledge card in there along with a letter and some other information, and our narrative budget that shares how your gifts given to Princeton United Methodist Church are at work to transform lives and to help us to live and respond joyfully and well to all that God is doing in us. So that we all might experience the fullness of life together. All that is in there. I encourage you to bring your pledge card back. Be sure you write your name on it. There's not a place for your name on that pledge card, so write your name on it so we know it's yours. Bring it back to church on Sunday. You can also pledge online. There are information, QR codes, and links to help you do that. Go to the giving page on our website for that. And we would appreciate to know all the ways that you are intending to give of your prayers, your presence, your gifts, your service, and your witness in the coming year. We also are celebrating communion on Sunday, so come ready to receive the great blessing it is to be in communion with God and one another through this holy feast that we have together. I will see you soon. Know that it is always a joy to be on this journey with you, that we are created for joy, that you are enough because God is enough. Thanks be to God for all of that. Blessings be upon you this day, and may you notice them and respond to them well. See you soon.